Welcome back to Tucson RV Solar. As you can see, we are at our location and we got us an Alliance fifth wheel. All right, so we got our brand new Alliance Paradigm. I mean, this thing is brand new. They have not even moved into it yet. But we still got the same things to worry about, problems to take care of. The problems are identifying where everything's gonna go and how we're gonna get it there. So a couple of things that we can see, got 3 air conditioners up top. We're gonna put soft starts on all 3 of those. He's also got 2 370 watt panels that are already up there, or a single 370 watt panel, because he also has a single MPPT 100/30 that came stock with this. It's nice to see the manufacturers putting quality solar controllers and gear in here now. But obviously that's already ran, so we're gonna have to run a new set of wires to install the additional 800 watts that we're gonna put up there. And we're gonna keep them separate, but we will link these together through the Servo GX, and then also have a wireless network set up in case the Servo were to fall out for whatever reason, so they can still communicate and optimize their charging. So this is actually where everything's going to go. We've already measured and cut our board for that. So sideways mount on the 24 volt Victron 12 volt or 24 volt 3000 volt amp, but it's a 2x120 since this is 50 amp rig. Batteries are both going to go down here. We've got a couple of Epoch 460 amp hour essentials that we're going to put in the series to replace these lead acid batteries, or that single lead acid battery. Generator compartment, he is pre-wired for generator but is not going to be mounting one, but we are going to leave everything in place for that to happen at a later point should he move on. These Alliances have tidied up the wiring quite a bit, so we don't spend a whole lot of time in there doing that, but we have taken down the walls, and you can see by our HDMI and USB, already ran that up into its mounting location. We've got a transfer switch here because of the generator pre-wiring. One thing we're going to do in here is put in this brand new Power Watchdog RV surge protector. Now the older models of these had problems working with Multiplus, but you can actually turn off the problem that was causing there now. We'll wire that up. And then up in here, you can see pretty easy access to the breaker box. So our power out from the Multiplus will be going into there. And then up here, we've already wired in our Touch 70. Pretty easy drop. His pre-wire for the generator was right there. Basically, we just pushed it through the hole, taped it up, and is behind there in case they ever decide to move on. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get the solar wires ran and get the additional 800 watts up on the roof. Well, here we are nearing the end of the first day. Got all the solar up and we got the board built, so we can see our 24 volt Multiplus. Here's where we're going to get our power in from our 2 batteries that we'll be putting in series underneath. It'll be underneath here. And then going through the Class T fuse, got his battery cutoff switch. The negative is actually going to come right through here and attach to the shunt up on the top, so that'll be hidden. The only thing that is really going to be extra that you'll see is the 2 power cables coming through here, unless I can get them to wrap around through here and make it all nice and clean, which I should be able to. But you know, they are 6.3 NMB, so a little bit stiffer. SOW cable would be a little bit better for that, but it would also be thicker, so 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But we got our 2 2-aught cables ready to go to attach to those tomorrow. Got our ground, and up top we got our 2 solar controllers. Now I wanted to be able to tell the difference between the 2 because we got this one going to take care of 800 watts, and at 24 volts it's good for 1000 watts. This one is taking care of his 370 watt panel, So you could add another panel or two, depending on the voltage. I'd have to look at that and figure if we could put a set in series and then parallel them to create some more wattage here. And then obviously the servo. And then we got this guy, the Orion 24 to 12 DC to DC charger, or converter rather. So the input of that is coming from our 24 volt system, and then it's gonna turn that into 12 volt with a max of 70 amps coming out. And then that wire is coming across, that's this guy right here, and that's what's going to connect in to where the battery currently is, the lead acid battery, to run the 12 volt for the coach. And then on the charging side of the house, this becomes our charger. We've already disconnected the converter charger inside the RV. So this will be the sole source of 12 volt. And it looks like it's going to be enough to run his jacks and everything. We do have a 12 volt battery just in case, where we can actually insert that into the system, the same place that we tie this guy in, if we need it. But he doesn't have an onboard generator, so probably not going to need it. And then everything wired through the links, and we've done the hack, so all these lights are going to work when we turn it up, which is it's good for all the way through a 24 volt system. So that ends the first day. Now I'm going to clean up some mess and go hit the pool. We'll see you tomorrow. Here we are finishing up. You can see our two 460 amp hour batteries in series. Gives him the 24 volt at 460 amp hours. We got both of our solar running through our disconnects. So we got our 150/35 on the left, 100/30 on the right. Same thing for these two guys, and we're going to put a label on that for him. Still has his 12 volt disconnect, but that's really just disconnect 12 volt from the loads inside the house. He's going to have his overall disconnect down here. And you can see we're starting to tidy up right now, but currently programming our inverter. So with that, we're going to go back into the inverter, finish this programming, do our final test inside, run all the air conditioners one at a time, and then we'll clean all this up, tidy it up, and we'll be complete. So here we are back up on the roof. We've got the solar finished. So this was the stock 370 watt panel that came with the Alliance. And then you can see we got our 800 watts we've added up here. He's got room to add 2 more there should he decide to expand. Really 1, 2, 3 more. But really not for this because it's such a big panel. So something to think about later on. If you do add solar, how your orientation is everything. We could just pull this panel up, put an extension lead on there, and then drop it right over that, and then that would give us all kinds of room to be able to add over on this side, but the OEM's not thinking about that. But anyway, we got our additional 800 watts up here, run into one of his 2 controllers down there. And with that, we're gonna go downstairs and catch up on where we are in the front bay. All right, so here's our completed 24 volt system. Gotta put the cover on that fuse. But we got 24 volt, 3000 kVA multi-plus. All going through the Links distributor. We got our solar controllers. We got the 150/35 for the extra 800 we added. We got the 130 that came stock with the rig for the 400 watts in the back. Got our Orion 70 amp DC to DC charger. That's giving us our 12 volt for the rig. And then the Servo GX up there. And the smart shunt partially hidden, but getting everything it needs to do. And then we got a Class T 400 amp fuse. All that rolling down into our 2 Epoch 460 amp hour batteries. We got these put in series, so that gives us our 24 volt battery bank. And then over here we got a Rich Solar Alpha 1 Pro. That's giving him a 12 volt backup for his slides more than anything else. Needs a little bit more oomph for his slides. Still got the 12 volt disconnect in here, and then our 2 solar disconnects. The left going to his left controller, the right going to his right controller. So that he can disconnect all the power on the roof. And then he is able to see all that not only on the Bluetooth, but also on his touchscreen display. which we put in place of the generator start stop. So now you can see currently pulling 900 watts and charging that battery up. It says 100, not really quite at 100, but it's charging up and it'll be there today to hit 28.4 volts, be 100% for these two 460s. And another happy customer.